Welcome boys. So in this video I'm going to show you how to replace your crankshaft position sensor in your Mercedes-Benz C230 with a 1.8 inline 4-cylinder compressor supercharged engine. But before I do that, I need you to stop this video right now if you don't know how to remove this air box and watch the video by N Boba on how to replace your mass airflow sensor. And I'll flash it up on the screen now. So after you watch that, then come back here, because there's no reason for me to reinvent the wheel and show you how to take this thing apart when he does a perfectly good job of it. So watch that video, and I'll leave the link in the description below, and then come back. And then we're going to go ahead and take care of the crankshaft position sensor once we've gotten all that out of the way. And you are going to need this specialty tool right here. If you have that band clamp, and you're going to need one of these. This is going to be your Torx 1/4 inch, because the 3/8, though it will fit down here, to get this one, you cannot get it in here. So you have to buy another set of specialty sockets, the 1/4 inch, to fit in here. But you're probably also going to need, in order to get to the dealy whopper that it's holding the crank sensor in, that Torx. And I may have misspoke just now. This is the 10. E10. One-1/4 inch, and the one in the crank sensor is an E8 1/4 inch. So you will have to buy that specialty tool kit with those bits. Along with that, you're going to get this band clamp off. Okay, and here is the pull tab. So this is that. I wish I could really get you guys in here. I really apologize for the shoddy camera work, but I didn't build this fucking thing. Okay, so here's the connector, as best as I can show it to you, that goes on that crank sensor. So as you can see, it's got this bullshit here where you don't just press down, you have to like pull out in order for this end to release from that locking tab. So that's why when you do this from the top, you have to just do it by feel. Now I'm demonstrating with this thing, but you're going to need to get an actual screwdriver, a really long straight screwdriver. And when you go in, you fish it through this little hole here, you just go straight down. You're going to get the point of your screwdriver right in here, right between this gray thing and this black thing. And then as you pull with the screwdriver, you'll be able to get your fingers around this side to pull the whole connector off. Because if you don't do that, you're going to end up like me, where you injure your thumb to the point where you got the world's biggest blister on it that I can't even show you. So my thumb is so blistered that I can't feel anything. And this camera can't even freaking focus on it because it's just so dirty from being in this claustrophobic environment. It's super blistered and I can't even feel it. So if you want to avoid that, just jam the big long screwdriver in there and then pull it out, and then maybe all will be well.
5 hours later.
Okay, so after you've gone through all that bullshit and gotten to this point, this is what you do. Never mind some of the shit that's in the way here. But you're going to get your freaking knees right here. Ugh. Ugh. So your knees are going to be like this. You're going to have a light, this light, down there to give you light. if you look, you see it? That little black thing right under that coolant hose pipe is your sensor. So after you've unplugged it the way I told you and assembled your Mega Zord of extensions, you can get this far and then loosen it and pull it out. Okay, so after you've done that, you use your right hand. Let me see here. See, like this? So I got my right hand down here right at the pivot, applying a forward pressure so that way we got pressure going against that bolt. And I'm using my left hand to loosen this. And I really can't get you in at any better of an angle because you just can't see anything. All this shit's in the way. There's the fuck else I can do for you to see. But just under it. I'm loosening it. And here's what your freaking Voltron Mega Zord looking thing looks like. So you can take this, the swivel socket, all at once, and then while you're looking with your left, with your knees on that bullshit, and you see the bolt, you're gonna just press with your hand, your right hand's gonna slither in there, push this on. When that's secured, you're gonna have to hold it still with your left, or you might still have your right down there if you have this nearby. Grab your, whichever hand you have free, jam this down in here. Once this and all this bullshit makes contact here, you're gonna do what I just showed you. Hold with your right hand that's already down here, apply forward pressure on this bolt, this inverted 8E Torx, and then just bust this thing loose with this end. That's how you do it. And once you do, you're going to be able to reach your hand down in here. I'm going to pull that old sensor out with my right hand. Okay, and I'm going to apologize for the wind noise, but it's hot as balls out here, so I got one of these guys going. Here's the old sensor. It is out. It is a Mercedes-Benz part, so this is the original one. Not bad, 200-something thousand miles. But what a pain in the ass to get to. If you want to replace it with this part number, it is 003 153 2828. 003 153 2828. The replacement unit we have is a Bosch unit, and it is made in Germany. If I can focus on the Bosch part number, there she is. Looks like a 0261 210 170, or it's that other bigger number down there in the lower left, 037 350. The plugs and everything's the same. So we're going to put it back in, and I'm going to anti-seize that inverted Torx, and then I'm only going to hand tighten it. I am not going to freaking go ape shit with it, with all those extensions. And then we can hopefully get this thing buttoned back up within an hour. So the word on the street is, you know what you're doing, you can do this thing in under an hour, and I would say that's probably right. You could probably have that part out in an hour, and if you're the ultimate badass, you've done 100 of these, you could probably have it in and out within an hour. But if this is your first time doing this, get settled in, boys, because it's going to be a 4 to 5 hour freaking job. Well, maybe not. Maybe not for you guys, it won't be. For me, it was, because there's no videos on the internet on how to do this on the inline 4. There's no real write-up on any Mercedes forums other than it's a bitch. So, and unfortunately, there's no room for me to really film in there and show you exactly how to do it. So I had to sit there and figure it out, going by feel, because you can't see what you're doing, except for that little bitty bit I showed you. It's almost done completely by feel. And I injured my thumb undoing the tab earlier. So do it the way you're supposed to do it, the way I tell you to do it. Do it that way, and that'll save your thumb at least. And then my middle finger was smashed by the jack working on the Crown Vic. So I had two out of my 5 fingers on my right hand are completely, I can't even feel anything or use them. So I'm only operating at 60% efficiency, which is a freaking D-, barely not an F. So I was just woefully unprepared for this job in my physical condition and not having any knowledge. But you guys, you have a fully functional hands, you have the time, and now if you watched the video on how to remove the intake, the airbox and all that, and this video, you can hopefully get it done in a lot less time than I did and not struggle so bad. So, alright, get this new part in, and then we'll close this out. Alright, so I'm going to put that back on and then get this thing reassembled. Okay, and now we have it, the airbox back in. Everything's clamped up, so as I mentioned, the only caveat to removing the airbox, the only difference I have versus the video you should watch first is he has that worm clamp that you just kind of tighten. I have that band clamp still on here that you need this tool in order to properly remove. They do make one of these more expensive. It's got like a little thing, I guess, that makes it stay, whereas this is just a cable and it flops around. I did it just fine with this, so I guess it's really up to preference if you want to spend the extra money. I found it unnecessary for this job, so I am reusing that band clamp. But after you watch his video and get to that part, and you watch this one, and you finally replace your crank sensor, you'll be fine. Now, unfortunately, I lost the freaking bolt that holds it in place, that E8 Torx that's really short, and I couldn't borrow one from anywhere else on the engine, so I had to go inside and get a 5/16 bolt from, I don't remember if it was from the Neon or the Crown Vic, or you know what car that bolt might have even been my E38 for all I know. But I got a spare bolt and put on there, so that'll do for now. The only difference, the only problem that could cause in the future is if somebody's working on this, he's going to think it's an E8 Torx, but it's actually a 5/16 bolt. Other than that, same thread pitch and everything. So I hope this helps anybody who needs to do this job on this particular model, the C230 with this particular engine, the 1.8 supercharged inline 4. So I'm just going to close it out there. Thanks for watching, boys. Peace.